Week 1, Thursday. Call me bitter. When they came to, this is Ruth 1, 19-22. When they came to Bethlehem, the whole town was stirred because of them. And the women said, "Is this Naomi?" She said to them, "Call me no longer Naomi, call me Mara, for the Almighty has dealt bitterly with me. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Why call me Naomi when the Lord has dealt harshly with me, and the Almighty has brought calamity upon me?" So Naomi returned, together with Ruth the Moabite, her daughter-in-law, who came back with her from the country of Moab. They came to Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest. Ruth, one of the briefest books in the Bible, tells of Naomi and her family, who left Bethlehem to escape a famine. In a foreign land, her husband and 2 sons died in quick succession. Years later, she is returning home. She has left a land that was empty. She returns as harvest is being gathered. The emptiness is now in the heart of this widowed and weary woman. Imagine the villagers in the fields trying to identify the distant figures in the road. Is it Naomi? Her name means sweet one. It is here, in the heart of her own covenant community, that she speaks the burden of her heart. She tells her story of loss upon loss with unrestrained anger. "Don't call me Naomi, call me Mara," bitter. "For Shaddai has made me very bitter. Shaddai has afflicted me." Literal translation. Shaddai is one of the most ancient names for the God of the Hebrew patriarchs. It is the name invoked in solemn blessing, judging, and cursing, and it is used often in the book of Job. The storyteller casts Naomi's complaint in legal form, the language of someone who is coming to court to bring a complaint. Shaddai is the accused. He has not acted justly. He has been the cause of her suffering. It is rare enough for a woman to be given a voice in the Bible, but this is a shockingly blunt language for anyone to use to God. Yet the greatest honour is paid to Naomi here. No one tries to calm her down. She is not rebuked, patronised, blamed, or taken aside by a pastoral elder. Her theology is not corrected, nor is God defended, or is apparent inaction excused. Her bitter complaint is recorded with utter seriousness. The community knows that her business must be with God. We need to discover this dimension of prayer. Western churches have no tradition of protest or complaint as a valid and sometimes vital expression of faith. This is in complete contrast to the Bible, where over 2/3 of the Psalms start from cries of anger and perplexity directed at God. I recall talking to a single mother for whom life had been constantly hard. New to church-going, she was struggling to cope with the relentlessly upbeat faith around her. Like Naomi, she needed to draw up her case against God and list her grievances. I found her anger unsettling, not least because, more than I cared to admit, she had a valid point. Where had God been all this time? But the hardest thing for me as a Christian minister was to resist trying to defend or excuse God. He needs no such protection, and the Bible understands the need for this kind of praying very well. Why didn't I? Writing about the birth of his son with a rare genetic condition, Paul Bradbury recalls his initial response, finding reasons why God has allowed this. After a few days, though, some very different responses surfaced. An anger ran from me towards God, in a way that would have seemed blasphemous earlier in my Christian life. It burst from me in language and feelings towards God that were intense and irreverent. It was raw, rough, and above all, real. I had never uttered such words before in that way, with real venom and real anguish. I felt almost ashamed at this outburst. I could sense the disapproval of a church that finds little space for honest emotions, that illuminate the negative aspects of our experience as the people of God. Faith that can speak to God only in positive, upbeat, or submissive terms is neither trusting nor reverent. It is just polite and compliant. Of what use is that in the face of God's perplexing absence or apparent inaction through the bitterest struggles of life? In the Bible, the prayer of protest is a sign of trusting faith, not of its absence. For reflection, are there prayers that I have not yet found a way of expressing to God? Have a think. Bye now.